voices amplified.
Greetings and welcome to earGROUND New Voices Amplified. My name is Plot. Pleasure to be joining you guys. Pandemic, I'm going to be continuing with programming, and we've done hip hop, we've done dance, we've done different other music genres, we've also done poetry, film. But today we are having an amazing voice who happens to be a gospel musician, Sthandwa Tigere. Unjani?
Ngiyaphila kunjani lawe bhuti?
Mina ngiright. I hope I answered that.
Oh Sam, we thank God.
And welcome to earGROUND. It's an honor to actually have you on the program.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and join in this program.
Great. I mean, I've been following your musical journey for quite a while now silently, and I think I got to a point where I said, wow, I need to speak to her because she's been doing pretty amazing. Take us through a brief history of yourself and also your musical background.
Okay, so as mentioned, my name is Sthandwa Tigere. I grew up in Bulawayo from the dusty streets of Nketa 8. That is where I grew up. Yes. That is where I grew up. I grew up there. I learned there, and I did study bachelor's degree in journalism. However, I'm grateful for studying that degree because it led me to have an internship, at least in Harare. So in Harare, what happened was, well, in my music ministry, I started singing in church from Sunday school and with the youth. However, when I went to Harare, I happened to join this big gospel group that we have in Zimbabwe called ZimPraise.
Oh, you're part of ZimPraise?
Yes. So I did, I was part of ZimPraise for 2 years. That was in 2011 and 2012. I did a solo song, the hit, that was titled Uthando Luka Baba.
I know the song.
Yes, so I was grateful for being part of that group because I learned a lot. And it provided another new atmosphere in the music industry for me. So, however, I did continue being part of the group for a while. For that 2 years, I happened to, and then I stopped for some reason because I was still a student then. I went back to Bulawayo. I stopped, and I've been serving as a minister at Word of Life International Ministries. So that's where I served. And then I got married. Now I'm a mom and I'm a wife.
And you never stopped singing. You kept on singing.
I kept on singing. However, I kept on singing only in the church. I stopped being part of ZimPraise or being part of any other group that I wanted to. Not that I wanted to, but so I left ZimPraise. We relocated to the United States. So when we came here, of course, I love God. We were part of a church. I joined the ministry there. And a friend of mine who used to be part of ZimPraise said to me, what are you doing? I was like, I'm serving in the church. I'm doing what I love the most. That's what I think makes sense to me. So I served. So I told him about serving in the church. However, he happens to be the director of Closer, a group called Closer Experience.
Okay.
It's a US-based group from a bunch of Zimbabweans who relocated to the States. So they formed a thing where we minister to souls. So he invited me to be part of that group. However, I joined that group, and well, I've come to a point of realizing that maybe it's time for me to, in as much as I minister in the church, it's time for me maybe to minister music that will also reach out there in the globe. because I realized that maybe there is a need of a gospel person who can sing English, Shona, Ndebele, and I'm that person. I can minister in both three languages. So I said, let me take it up and do my own thing. So
wow. But growing up in Keta 7, did you see yourself becoming this person, or is something that, like getting into music, is it something that you pursued later, or you grew up like with a lot of musical influence around you?
okay, that's a good question. Well, I grew up with a lot of music. I grew up in a church family where my uncles are pastors. So the life that I lived was, or the life that I knew was church. So because of that, the only genre that makes sense to me is gospel. So because in Geta there, that's all we did. We sang in the church. We did a lot of things in the church, and it was gospel. So I think it got to me so much that even when I went out there to be on my own, it was in me. I couldn't let go of it. That because there's something about the gospel music. It's, when you face life, there are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of new things that you meet. And for me, it's gospel music that has taken me this far.
And talking about challenges, what were some of the biggest challenges that you've ever had to overcome musically?
When you grow up in Geta there in Bulawayo, your opportunities are limited. So my opportunities were limited in terms of showing up my talents that I'm capable of ministering or delivering the word through song too. So, and I really come from a humble background. So I looked down on myself first before I even opened my mouth to sing. So that was the challenge on its own. So I thank God for the music that kept giving me the confidence I needed to be like, hey, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So the challenges I had were opportunities from Bulawayo.
Wow. And ministry through music, do you see yourself as a minister, or you see yourself as an artist first? Like, what comes first for you?
I'm a musician by nature because I believe I have a gift, because you can't open your mouth and sing to everybody and they're like, why don't you do something? Why don't you sing in the church? Why don't you do this? So it's the people, it's my family, my friends that made me realize that maybe I mustn't stop about this music. And the only music I can do better in is gospel. And it gives me life. So I will stick to it.
And moving from Zimbabwe, from Keta, from Harare, now you're based in New York. Was there a bigger cultural shock, or you managed to easily fit into the society?
The reason why I can say I managed to fit in the society is because of church. With church, we're working towards one mission. That is magnifying the name of the Lord. So in the church, I fit. But in other areas,
Yes.
for example, I did attend this other women's festival where I was invited to go and sing.
Yes.
So I did my gospel song, but my fitting, I felt uncomfortable because here they rap, they are awesome in what they do. So for me, I believe music is something linked to culture, language, and socialization.
Yes. Great, great. And but is there a big difference when it comes to?
I'm sorry. Before I forgot to mention that I'm also a songwriter. I've been writing
Okay.
songs a lot for people.
For other artists?
Yes.
Wow. Like Zimbabwean artists or artists there in the United States?
Zimbabwean artists that are not known, church songs that you just sing in the church.
Okay, great.
Yes, and of course I did write two songs for Closer, the group that I'm currently with. I
Yes.
did write 2 songs for them, and in my album that is about to come out.
Cool. So tell us about your forthcoming album. Is it your first project? Is it your first album? And what more can we be expecting on this album?
Okay. So thank you. So this is going to be my first gospel album. It's filled, and it's the theme of the album is called Divine Destiny. Why Divine Destiny? Because it is a true testimony in melody of what God can do. So the songs in the album are magnifying God for taking me through every journey in all aspects of life. And the songs are in English, Ndebele and Shona, to reach out to all Zimbabweans across the globe and the world in general. So why Divine Destiny? Because my life is an expression of God's grace and the availing of his love. And all the events in my life are organized and structured by God for him to fulfill his divine purpose. So I'm saying to the world out there, have an ear for something fresh, something new from the Lord coming from me. It's going to be my first album, and it's the first hidden dream album.
Wow, awesome. And when is it dropping? When can I expect it?
I'm planning to drop this album in beginning of May.
Beginning of May. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
beginning of May.
So we'll definitely be looking up to it. And is it different doing gospel music in the States as compared to Zimbabwe? Did you have to change your sound? Did you have to change your style? Is it the same, the way people minister through music in Zimbabwe and in the United States?
That's a good question. However, can you clarify if you mean in the church or you mean minister to everybody?
I think both, yeah, both in the church, also even for everyone. Like, did you have to change, or you maintained your style, your way of singing, and your approach, or it's completely a different scenario? You have to use a different tempo. You have to sing different songs.
Okay. No. So here in the States, the ministry is the same. I've never changed who I am. And to the other minister out there who's wondering, it's the same. It's the same thing. Like I mentioned before, that it's because it's one mission. The ministry is the same. Everything is the same. The difference is they will use English, and because of our culture, we'll have our own way of praying and dancing. And because
Yes.
of their own culture, they have their own way of expressing the joy in the music as you sing. So generally, it's the same. I'm saying to someone out there, bring yourself as who you are, and it's more meaningful when you are yourself than when you try to change to fit. So there is no need to change to fit. You still work on becoming the best of who God has actually called you to be. So nothing changed in the church for me. I was so marveled when I saw it. I'm like, it was like home.
Wow, great, great. And looking at the journey that you've traveled musically, um, as a woman, do you feel, because there's been a conversation, especially in Zimbabwe, that women struggle maybe 5 times to when they decide to do music and even to be musicians as compared to men. Did you face any struggles, any challenges that you could relate to maybe being a female artist?
Okay, well, being a female artist or I can't say I faced any challenges because for me, my first step was to join this bigger group called ZimPraise.
Yes.
So what I needed was to show that I can do it by singing in an audition, and I got accepted to be part of the group. So um, maybe the challenge may be the competition around you. You have to be more.
Competitive.
Yes, there's competition around gospel ladies ministry because for some reason you have to be very good at what you do in order to be maybe selected or invited to do something. But all I can say to people is keep pressing and keep pushing because there's always that somebody who will notice you. And at the same time, about waiting for someone to notice you, I tend to disagree with my point in terms of it's not necessary for you to say I have talent. I have a
Yes.
talent to wait for someone to notice it. Sometimes you have to push and press and work hard, make some savings and release a single, or make some savings to go and attend places where you can get opportunities. If you are in Bulawayo like me, if you hear that there's something in Harare, make sure you
Yes.
have savings for you to actually go and participate. Because when you sit, no one will
Nothing
ever
comes.
know about you or notice you because the
Correct.
competition is tight.
Great. And you studied journalism, but you're uh, a musician. Is it? Did you abandon your uh, the career that you had chosen academically, or it's something that you're still practicing?
I like that question because I'm thinking that my entering into journalism was a stepping stone to something. It's a story after another good story, the journey of my life.
Yes.
I feel like I went into journalism not because I liked journalism. I went to journalism because it was a stepping stone for me to connect to something. So I went there. I managed to go to Harare. I managed to join ZimPraise. I managed to do ZimPraise while in Harare.
Okay.
And we are limited in Zimbabwe, I'm sorry to say, because when you are in high school and
Yes.
you pass arts subjects, you have to stick with them.
Yeah.
You can't
True.
do
True.
anything else. So I did journalism because according to the government syllabuses, arts is what I was going to be good at. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did what I had to do, and I was good at what I did for that time. But it was time for me when I came here,
Yeah.
when I came to America, I realized that I have to follow my passion. So I
Yeah.
moved into the financial sector.
Okay.
So
Great.
that's what I do now. I have a job, and at the same time, I still minister at church. I'm still part of Closer, and I've worked on my own album to.
Great. But is it possible for somebody to live just as a musician alone in the States, like in Zimbabwe? Uh, it's also one very topical issue whether one can actually sustain off just their music alone, or they have to also have a 9 to 5.
You can actually come here as a musical person only. You just have to work very hard and make sure you have the right people to help you get the right jobs at the right places that you need. You can actually make music your career. You don't have to go to work if
Yes.
you have one thing that you're passionate in. You just have to um you will how do I tell it? You just have to invest in who you are, in what you are passionate on. You can live off your talent here in America. Yes, you can.
Wow, great, great. And I wanted to ask earlier on, but it had slipped my mind. Who are some of the artists that you look up to, like that inspired you, especially maybe from Zimbabwe?
I'm inspired by people from South Africa. Maybe it's because I grew up in Bulawayo, so my side
Yeah,
of the story is more on the Zulu Ndebele side
yeah, yeah.
because I
Okay.
didn't socialize more um in the Zimbabwean musical context,
Yeah,
I guess. So
mm,
yeah, I'm inspired by people like Ndogo Zombambo, Shenyo and Saba.
yeah. She's amazing.
Yeah, so I yeah.
Great. And
And
if
from
you,
however,
yeah.
I'm inspired by Tembelami.
Oh, Timberland,
Back
yeah.
home. Yes, Tembelami and Wellington Gwenda.
Yeah, yeah. I remember my first time watching ZimPraise videos. It was Wellington who really got me so much interested and excited about ZimPraise, and then I started watching more content. Yeah. Um, Looking at the Zimbabwe music landscape, if there's something that you could change there, I don't know how much you're following what's happening in Zimbabwe in terms of the music industry, but if you were to change something, what would it be?
Um, I'm also inspired by Minister Mahendere. I apologize.
Ah,
So,
okay, great, great.
yes. Um, I I'd say professionalism.
Mhm.
Um, I would love to change the way that m- like music is acknowledged, yes,
Mhm.
but people don't they don't because there are people like they are treated like they are ordinary people. People don't give into the ministry of music. People just pirate their music. People don't take them seriously. They don't take music as if it's something serious. They take it as if, oh, by the way, and of which it's look at ZimPraise. Those are talented people. They can't just live off from shows. You know,
Yes,
it's not fair. People have to consider the effort that the musician would have put in manufacturing the songs, writing the songs, and everything, and
yes,
they don't have to take that for granted. So I feel like music in Zimbabwe is taken for granted. Musicians are taken for granted, yet they are a powerful tool in the society. Like I'm saying, in terms of
yeah,
language, you know how language and culture makes sense to everybody. We are here. I'm married to my husband. He
yes.
listens to that praiser. He loves our soldier love. You
Mhm,
know,
mhm.
those things that speak deep into people's souls, but those kind of people are taken for granted. I just don't like that about Zimbabwe.
I totally get you there. Not so many people see the effort that musicians put in, and now piracy is a big thing, not just on the streets but also online. People pirating other people's music, including great musicians like Brian Sibalo. You find their music is there online, somebody's making money off it, but without giving anything to the family or of the deceased musician. And looking ahead, uh, 3 to 5 years from now, where do we see you?
3 to 5 years from now, however, I will be ministering in all the diasporan countries. However, there is a shortage here of ministers because maybe it's difficult for people to get visas to come, or I don't know for some reason. But
Yeah,
in 3 years, you're looking at me ministering in churches around the globe, in Australia, in Canada, in the States, in all the states, Texas,
yeah, yeah.
New York, Detroit. So in 3 years, that's what I will be doing. I will be traveling in churches and ministering more.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. And right now, we have the pandemic, COVID-19, coronavirus. It has transformed and changed the world in a short space of time. How has the world been affected?
Well, it is what it is. And we pray that the Lord will breathe life unto everybody across the globe, because this, who would have known that it would be like this? So I stand in faith that the Lord will hear our prayers. The Lord will heal his nations.
Yeah.
And it's been hard. It's been hard because I'm not speaking for myself only. I'm speaking to the rest of the musicians that, okay, our life is the audience. That's the life of a musician. So now there's this pandemic. So we have to rely online.
And a word that you want to leave to your fans, people that love your music, that have followed you through ministry, what word would you want to give them?
Okay. To the people, I would love to tell them that keep pressing, never stop, and you will notice that everything is aligned for a good reason. And I do quote from my favorite scripture, that is Romans 8, verse 28.
Yes.
It says, "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Lord, and to them who are called according to his purpose." So that's the word I'm giving the dreamers out there, that keep pressing, never stop. If you have a dream, sometimes it's better to hide it from the people who can destroy it, and keep rehearsing and perfecting that dream of yours, because there's always a time when opportunity will come.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the program. And I believe for those that are watching, they've been blessed by your words. I've also been moved. And I think, for a lot of people that are watching would want to get even a 30-second song or something, just to leave them, blessed by the amazing voice.
Oh,
Yesterday we were singing which song? He's got the whole world.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was really assuring everybody that, you know what, he's got us. God's got our back.
Great.
Okay, so I would sing the main song from my album that I haven't even released, that I'm
Awesome.
releasing this May.
Great.
So the song goes like, seated on the throne, watching over us, seated on the throne, you are high and lifted up. My God, you rule and reign forevermore. We adore you. We worship you. We adore you. Holy Lord of hosts. My God, you sit as King forevermore.
Wow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving us a snippet into what's coming of your album,
Yes.
the hidden talent, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's a song that
Wow.
I wrote, and
Great.
it's a song that is relevant to every other situation that you can face in life. Be assured, be Christ assured that the Lord is seated on the throne for me and you, no matter
Wow.
what.
Great. Thank you so much to everybody who's been watching. I mean, it's been great. Be assured that the Lord is with us, even as we go through these difficult times with the coronavirus situation. She just has said it, that the Lord is going to take us through and will see us through, and it's only a first that's going to come to pass. So
Oh,
thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for having being a guest on earGROUND. It was an honor to have you on this program.
thank you so much, Mr. Claude Marco. I really appreciate the opportunity. Be blessed.
You are welcome, and pass my greetings to your husband and the family, and appreciation and kind regards.
They're here in the house
Oh,
somewhere.
they're there.
Yeah, all
Great.
here.
Great.
Okay, greetings to your family too.
I'll do that. So.
All right.